Do I have to do anything now or not? Um, I have no picture. Am I supposed to have a picture or not? I guess I have a little picture. Um, I remember Aric when he first came to our office in Chicago. When he got out of no, he didn't get out of school. When he came to Chicago, and he had his resume and his brochure, and I was struck immediately by his thesis project at Cornell, which had these amazing drawings, just incredible drawings. And what he did for his thesis, which I'm sure is quite unprecedented at Cornell, he actually did an addition to Saranan's buildings at Cranbrook. And he was raised near Cranbrook, and he obviously was important to him. And he did an addition, and then he did this amazing drawing, which picked up the Saranan aerial perspective of the campus, and he drew his addition into it in exactly the same style as the original drawing. So when you looked at it, it actually was a new drawing, but it had all the Saranan uh, aspects of drawing included in his drawing, which is quite astonishing. And so um, he joined the firm and he began to work for us. And about that time, we were working on Harold Washington library competition, and it was very hectic. And I was commuting, and so I was sort of pressed for time. And I was trying to control all the development of drawings and the planning, the elevations, everything at once. And the schedule was running down, and we were running out of time. And we had an urban design aspect where we had developed a site, and I asked Aric to take it over. I said, I don't have the time to do it. So you have to just do this. So he took over the entire site plan and the area relationship with the building of the area, and did a kind of an astonishing solutions, which he consulted with me on, and including a bridge that went across Congress, and it was an extraordinary piece of work. And so from the beginning, it was clear that he had the ability to do anything. I mean, he has this amazing memory, visual memory of things. He knows everything, and he can draw it, which is kind of amazing. And uh, so after that, whenever he was working for us, he worked for us, and then he left. And he went to film school, and he obviously be good at this. He can take a script and turn it into a visual script, and he was very successful doing that too. And he did in that phase of his life, he did incredible working drawings by hand of sets with things from interiors, furniture, whole buildings. Pearl Harbor, he did the whole harbor with wrecked ships in it, which he drew by hand. So it was an extraordinary piece of work he did there also. And then when he came back to the firm, when he came back to Chicago, uh, then he fit into the firm again, and we started doing things together again. And he was involved with numerous projects, and the ones that sort of spring to mind, the most memorable things he did for me is I remember the work he did on uh, Yale cross campus. He was an underground library we were redoing that was a Barnes building originally. And he came up with a detailing system for a glass curtain wall that ran through the interiors that divided the space up, where he took standard Hope sections and then he added to them a kind of ornamental system which gave them the richness of the earlier buildings at Yale through the detailing of this window wall. It was quite astonishing. And that turned out he did the interiors finishes and all the detailing work on that, and it was quite extraordinary. He also did the pavilion that sits up in the cross campus at Yale, which is a minute Gothic revival building. It sits in the middle of the cross campus space. And it's this tiny little building with a lot of detail, with carvings and Rogers, James Gamble Rogers sorts of things on this teeny tiny building. It's also a kind of tour de force. Um, and lastly, I think the project that we worked on last together, I think, was the Tuscaloosa courthouse, and we discussed that a lot of what we wanted to do there. And Aric has this amazing memory of things, where he seems to know everything, and he can remember it, and he can visualize it, and he can draw it. So we talked about Greek courthouses. We talked about the Supreme Court building in Washington, and we worked through a solution which had a complete Greek revival building that was detailed very finely on the interior and outside, and it has a lot of ornament, and it's all executed according to Aric's drawings. And during the process of that, we had issues with the client, with the GSA, about the the exact aspect of the building. And I told Aric to bring his drawings along, his development drawings along, that he worked on all this ornament. And we put them on the table, and we discussed it, and we were having a kind of showdown on the project. And um, Peter Boland was there as the advisor for the GSA, and he went through Aric's drawings, and he said these are amazing. And I'm sure that had a lot to do with the fact we got that building through, just through the quality of those drawings. So he was a major major force in the firm when I was there. I counted on him to do things. He did things independently towards the end, and he did things with me earlier on. And he was always astounding in his abilities, his knowledge, and his willingness to take on anything. But I suppose the ultimate um, task he did was the book with Sam Roche on the plans of Chicago, where he did drawings of extending the city in a kind of contextual way that would make sense, visually and also intellectually. So he was, that's also a major contribution of his, along with Sam Roche. They did it together. So uh, Aric was always welcome to work for us. He worked for us several times. I think he is a person with infinite ability and great discipline, and it was a pleasure to work with him. I think that's it.